So this is a mind-boggling story of a young man who cried out to the general public on the 19th of April 2022, lamenting on how his mom-in-law is trying to take the place of his wife in his life. Crazy, right? It is crazy. I agree with you. You can imagine that. Of all people, not your neighbor, not your church member, not your street girl, not your neighbor's daughter, but your own mom trying to take your place in the life of your husband. And each time he tries to relate to the wife, it's as if the opportunity is always snatched away from him. So he is crying out to the general public, seeking advice on how to handle this very matter. So please, I will encourage you, if you have any advice, any suggestion, please don't forget to drop it in the comment section. He may come across this video, only God knows. Okay guys, in order not to miss words or to waste time, I'm going to be reading directly from the article. We dated for a year and got married. I must admit, one person who made the relationship very easy for me was my mother-in-law. I was a new person in town when I found her. The first time she took me home, her mother asked me series of questions. What do you do for a living? Where do you come from? Are you a Christian? Are your parents together? All those stories. Let me cut it short. At some point, I started feeling uncomfortable, but the smile on her face while asking me those questions put my heart at ease. In the end, she said, you know Akwaba is my only child. She doesn't have a brother or a sister. She came all alone, so I have to ensure she's in a hand that can keep her as the only child that she is. That's why I'm asking you all these questions. From that day, her mother became my mother and her home became my home. I didn't know the town so much and I didn't know anyone, so they became my everything. On weekends, Akwaba will visit me. Akwaba is the wife now. Akwaba will visit me with a variety of cooked dishes. These are from my mom. You live alone, so getting food might be difficult, so that's why she cooked all this for you. I'll keep the food in my fridge, eat them as and when I needed to eat. Every weekend without fail, her mother cooked something and gave it to her to deliver. I called her my in-law and she called me Pisie, meaning the eldest child. Life was like that until we got married. My place was small and couldn't contain the two of us, so we rented a new apartment. Luckily for us, the place is closer to their house. It's about 5 minutes walking distance. From the very first day of our marriage, her mother made it clear that she was going to be with us every day. I didn't know much of it because she had to become my mother too. I didn't think much of it because she had to become my mother too. She would come to our house on weekends, wash for us and clean the house for us. I didn't like it. I told Akwaba, no, your mother can't be doing all these things for us. We are married now and should be able to do these things ourselves. She answered, I've told her not to worry, but she doesn't listen to me at all. So allow her. On Fridays after work, Akwaba would call me. Akwaba is the wife, remember. Go to my mom and collect our food. She says it's ready. I'll pass by and this woman will load the car with different types of stews and soup. We wouldn't have to do anything else before we eat. We would wake up, heat the stew, cook the rice, and we are good to go. When we want to eat fufu, we will heat the soup, send the cooked cassava to machine and come back with already made fufu. Everything was simple like that, but I wasn't feeling good about it. To make matters worse, this woman won't take anything from me. I would give her money and she would say no. Why would you give me money? Aren't you eating the food with my daughter? I thought it was going to stop at some point, but 4 months after marriage, she was still doing the same thing. I spoke to her husband, that's the man's father-in-law. I spoke to my father-in-law. I want you to tell her that we are grateful for everything. We can take it from here and live a meaningful life. Please tell her to stop doing all that for us. My father-in-law smiled. He said, ever since you got married, has your wife cooked anything for you to eat before? I said no, she hasn't. It's because her mother always bring us food to eat. He said, please ask her to cook for you one day. If you are excited about the results, then you can tell my wife to stop cooking for you. I looked at him quizzically. He looked at me back. He said, I know what I'm talking about. Akwaba can't cook. If she boils water for you right now, it will burn. She's my daughter and I know her. It's not her fault anyway. It's her mother who raised her that way. Is the reason she's trying to cover up for her. So my son, is either you continue enjoying the food from her mother's kitchen or you get ready for the worst. On Saturday morning, I took her to the kitchen. Okay, let me just summarize this part. This story is quite long. He said on Friday that he went to go and complain to the father-in-law. On Saturday morning, he took the wife to the kitchen and asked her that they didn't cook. The wife was like, what do you want us to cook? There is stew, there is soup, there is everything is in the freezer, so why do you want us to cook? He said he wants to eat something fresh. He said, but mom just brought this food yesterday, because normally every Friday she will bring food. He said that he wants something fresh from the stove, like something from the pot coming out fresh. So he insisted. Okay, the girl refused, and he was like, okay, fine, I know why you are avoiding to cook. You don't know how to cook. It's okay by me. I'll teach you how. We'll do it together and gradually you will get better. The girl was offended. She started shouting that she will not cook, this, that. The guy ended up doing the cooking all alone, all by himself, and the girl called her mom and was telling her mom all manner of things. According to the guy, that whenever she calls her mom, she will not just say it exactly the way he said it. She will add her own sugar and maggi and everything. So that the mom-in-law now called him and was scolding him that, why would you force my daughter to go and cook for you? Have I not been cooking for you since you got married? Is there a day that you did not see what to eat? Have you not been enjoying my meal? This, that. The story no be here. So after that incident, in the morning, her mother came around. She cleaned our place like she used to and also cooked for us. This time around, she cooked in our home. She said, maybe you don't like it when I bring it from my place, so we will do it here. My wife was in there with her. I thought she was learning something. Anytime I went there, she was sitting down pressing her phone. When her mom leaves and I tell her to cook something, it turns into a quarrel. She will brush everything under the carpet of anger and not talk to me for a while until the topic is dead. I don't have a problem with a wife who doesn't know how to cook. She has other qualities. This is a very great guy. A guy who is even willing to teach the wife how to cook. They are very rare. This story is touching. The end is going to shock you. Great qualities every man would love to have in a wife. My mind is fixed on those qualities than her inability to cook. My problem now is how to win her off her mother. Some of us need to be weaned off. Some men are also like that. Okay, he said, my problem is how to win her off her mother. She's a good woman, but I believe it's time she allowed us some space to grow together as a couple. I'm not pushing her away. I'm only asking her to stay off us. I'm only asking her to give us space. Space here means no cooking for us and no coming around to clean and wash for us. We will learn to do it ourselves and in the process growing together. I've made this known to her, but each time I raise the topic, she calls her mom and says it differently to her. It has gotten to the point where I'm getting angry. I see her mother around and give her a fake smile instead of something real. She talks to me and I pretend I'm listening, but I don't. I'm beginning to hate her presence and it's not a good sign. What can I do to push her away in a way that won't bring enmity between us? It's like she's the one I'm married to. She will call and ask, what will you eat? I will finish eating and she will ask, how was the food? She will wash my clothes and fold them while the woman I married would be on the couch watching Netflix series on her phone. I want my wife to take her rightful place in the home while her mom is resigned to her rightful position as the mother-in-law. Please advise me on how to go about it. Please, if you have any advice, if you have any suggestion, please leave it in the comment section. Only God knows, he may come across this. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chika Brown. If this is your first time of coming across this channel, thank you so much for stopping by, and if you are a return subscriber, thank you for always coming to watch me. I really appreciate you. And as a woman, if you have a man who is willing to teach you what you don't know, most men out there will use it against you. They will talk you down. If you have a guy, a man or a husband or whatever that is willing to teach you what you don't know, that is willing to grow together with you, men, count yourself lucky. Count yourself lucky. This is very common among African mothers. when they have an only child, they treat the child as if it's a semi-god. Every child is precious. Even if you have 12 kids, trust me, they are all precious. Whether you have 10, whether you have 4, whether you have 3, they are all precious and should be treated as precious. But you don't spoil your child in the name of pampering. The Bible says spoil the rod and spare the child. So teaching your child how to cook is not enslaving your child. A lot of us end up bringing helps that will do everything for the child, and he or she ends up knowing nothing. And at the end, when you are not there, this woman that is doing all these things, now let's assume that she continues as long as the marriage continues, but definitely she's going to before her kids. So when she's no longer there, what will happen? They will definitely maybe hire labor or start having issues in their marriage. And I will definitely understand the guy's laments. Like, how can another woman be taking my wife's place? I believe there is a particular feeling they have when their wife treats them that way. Wash their clothes, ask them if they enjoyed the meal, ask them what they want to eat, what do you want me to prepare for you. I believe there is a particular feeling that goes with it, and he doesn't want to have such feelings for his mother-in-law. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Drop your opinion, your advice, whatever you want to say. Feel free to drop it in the comment section. If this is your first time of coming across my channel, please do consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up, and I would definitely love to see you in my next video. Bye.